Hello and welcome to the finale for the Pirates vs. Ninjas custom Hearthstone expansion card showcase. Today we're looking at the neutral legendary cards, and we've got some fantastic cards to show off today. First of all, we have Captain Cookie, a 1-mana 1/3 Murloc with Battle Cry. Pirates are also Murlocs, and Murlocs are also pirates until the end of the game, which is a really interesting effect. It may not even be something that makes logical sense, but anytime a pirate is in play, it also is considered a Murloc as far as any rule where a Murloc is mentioned is concerned. You know, a Hungry Crab can now destroy pirates. A South Sea Captain is going to start buffing Murlocs. Maybe anything can happen is going to start maybe summoning some pirates. It's going to get kind of weird and it's going to get kind of funky, but things are going to start happening where pirates are going to get confused with Murlocs, and it may not be pretty. So Captain Cookie obviously fits into Pirate Murloc decks. Obviously, an amazingly just perfect deck archetype that of course everyone should want to play, because Pirate Murloc deck just makes sense. And not only does it make sense, it actually can be quite strong because of Captain Cookie himself. A 1-mana 1/3 is fine, perfectly fine, and having Murloc war leaders buffing your friendly pirates, your friendly Murlocs, having all these things work together is absolutely insanely strong, very powerful. Next we have Dread Captain Demasa, 3-mana 3/4 pirate with Battlecry. Shuffle the 3 pieces of the King's map into your deck. Now, that doesn't really mean anything to anybody, so what are the pieces of the map? Here is the part of the map. It's 1 mana, draw a card. If you've played 2 parts of the map already, summon the Pirate King. Now, of course, that means nothing, so who is the Pirate King? The Pirate King is an 8-mana 4/8 pirate with charge. Has +1 attack for each pirate you've summoned this game. Now, because you've already summoned the Dread Captain and the Pirate King himself, he has 6 attack, and he's probably going to have a little bit more than that. He is a huge, huge finisher for pirate decks everywhere. You have to play a ton of pirates, but the more pirates you play, the more damage the Pirate King is going to do. But he does take a while to get out there because you do have to play all the pieces of the map. And after you do play all the pieces of the map and summon the Pirate King, he's going to have a lot of attack because hopefully you've been playing a lot of pirates, having a good old hearty time with all your pirate buddies. The Pirate King could be 10 attack, 20 attack, 100 attack. I don't know how many pirates you've been playing. Maybe you have 1,000,000 pirates. Maybe you have an infinite pirate supply. I don't know what your supplier is. All I do know is the Pirate King is going to do a ton of damage when he slams down on the board, and he's going to charge him and maybe even just straight out kill him. Next we have Duke Fall Revere, a 4-mana 4/3 pirate. Pretty mediocre stats right off the bat. He's overcosted by 1, quite frankly. 3-mana 4/3 is not the best, but it is a sort of vanilla stat line, so his effect had better be good, and it is quite powerful. It's Battlecry. Deal damage equal to the number of pirates you control to all non-pirate minions. Meaning if you have a few pirates around, this guy can just sort of cast Consecration on your opponent. Granted, they're not also playing pirates, which would be quite a travesty for your pirate deck and for Duke's powerful effect. Because it is a powerful effect. You can start casting Flame Strikes on your enemy with a few pirates around. You could even combo it and just deal tons of damage and completely destroy the opponent's board with Duke Fall Revere by simply controlling some pirates. And it allows a pirate deck to have some strong and reliable area of effect. Granted, you still have pirates around to trigger the effect and make it properly powerful. Next up we have a famous guy. We have Terran Zoo, a 5-mana 4/6 ninja with a simple but very potent card text: Battle Cries do not trigger. Now, it may seem like he's kind of a tech card, he's sort of like a Loatheb type thing, but he's a lot more than that, because Battle Cries not triggering is double-sided. You play a deck with a bunch of negative battle cries. You play Warlock with Pit Lord and Flame Imp. They can't use their good battle cries, and you have no downside on your really bad battle cries. So you can effectively, silence all battle cries and just sort of play all the really, really bad minions because their battle cries are bad, but because their battle cries are bad, that means they're going to have a lot of extra stats, which means you're going to actually be playing good minions, because Terran Zoo is preventing them from doing their really, really stupid battle cries that are discarding your cards, hurting you, and doing all other kinds of nasty things, which makes Terran Zoo a great card to play minions with battle cries, and to counter minions with really good battle cries. Next we have Finessa the Assassin, a 3-mana 3/2 ninja with stealth. It's a bit, crappy if it just has stealth. there is a 2-mana 3/2 Beast with Stealth in Druid, and a 2-mana 3/1 with Stealth in the neutral set. So 3-mana 3/2 with Stealth is still not bad, however its Battlecry can make it fantastic. If this minion is leftmost in your hand, gain Divine Shield. If rightmost, gain Charge. Either of those are insanely strong. 3-mana 3/2 with Stealth and Divine Shield is sort of like the Silent Knight, but with 1 extra attack. And a 3-mana 3/2 with Stealth and Charge is kinda like a Wolf Rider, but with 1 extra health. And also Stealth if you don't want it to charge right away. Now, the downside is that it has to be in a specific spot in your hand, which is a bit tricky to rig. Being leftmost means, unless you drew it as the very first card, you have to have played every single card you drew prior to this one, and rightmost means it needs to be right off the top. Now, it's most insane if it is the only card in your hand, because then it is a 3-mana 3/2 with Stealth, Charge, Divine Shield. It's almost like Alakir, but a ninja and also a bit smaller. Absolutely insanely strong. Very, very strong card with an interesting mechanic. Next up we have the Big Ninja, one of the most powerful ninjas, Lord Duroc Ravenholt. Leader of the Ravenholt Assassins, this guy is not messing around. He is a 7-mana 4/4 ninja. Battlecry and Inspire, summon a random minion, give it Stealth. So you're instantly looking at a huge amount of value that can be gained from this card because it is Inspire. It can come over and over and over. The Battlecry lets you get one right away. Now random minion, there's a huge amount of minions in the game. You can get anything from a 1/1 with Stealth to a 10/10 with Stealth, because anything you get will have Stealth, unless it's something like Ragnaros and it instantly attacks, hurts something, and then loses its Stealth. So the most insane outcomes are of course things that are so good with Stealth that they're probably the reason things like Master of Disguise was nerfed to oblivion, things like Hogger, things like Animated Armor, any crazy effect like that once it has Stealth just probably wins the game is of course insane. However, it's completely random, so it isn't exactly a win condition. However, just because you don't get a specific card to be the win condition doesn't mean playing this card isn't sort of a win condition, just because you get so many minions and they can all have Stealth. And of course, this is a ninja, meaning you can give it Stealth with many different ways and hide it to get more and more value and just get tons of random minions and give them all Stealth, and induct tons of random minions into the Ravenholt Assassins by summoning them and giving them a little Stealth. Next we have Azumat, a disciple of the old gods. I think maybe, I'm not a lore guy, but I googled this one and I think it was something like that. But he is a 7-mana 7/7, a classic stat line, everyone loves it, with a great battle cry. You know, players can no longer see the health or attack of minions. You know, simple, easy, makes complete logical sense. Something related to the old gods would definitely be into is just preventing you from even knowing the health or attack of any minions in your hand, on the board, and that may seem really stupid. And it is, it's pretty stupid. But it's really helpful if you're playing against someone who doesn't remember the health or attack of their minions in their hand. But even at the highest level, where people know those numbers by heart, it can be still useful, you know? If you cast a little light AoE like the Maelstrom Portal or an Arcane Explosion, and everything gets injured by just one, over time people are going to forget that kind of thing. People are going to start forgetting, and eventually they're going to get really confused because their minions are going to die when they didn't expect them to. They're going to forget. They have to keep track of all these other numbers they don't remember. If you Aldor things, they're going to get confused. And over time, people are just going to start forgetting about the stuff. And for the, player, just a battle cry too, so it's forever. It's not going away anytime soon. It is truly a mad, mad card. Truly represents some of the whispers of those old gods. The last 4 legendaries we have are 4 Grand Ships of the Sea, starting off with the Ark, a 10-mana 7/7 battle cry, summon an exact copy of each friendly minion. Now, this is a Herald Village completely blown up and made ridiculous. The idea of summoning 1/1 copies taken to the absolute extreme of exact copies. You can have a board, you know, really copying anything is pretty good if you consider this to be a 7-mana 7/7 and a 3-mana Faceless Manipulator. You can copy anything, really. Any minion you copy is gonna be hopefully pretty good. You copy Ragnaros, you probably win the game. Quite frankly, you probably win the game. You copy any big minion, quite frankly, you probably win the game. You copy a few small minions, that's fine. You get a lot of value, and really you're just getting all those creatures ready to get on the Ark. The second grand ship we have is the Ghost Ship. The Pirates Grand Vessel, a 10 mana 7/7, once again with Battlecry. Summon all friendly pirates that died this game. So you can just play whatever pirates you want, summon them all back. It's sort of a N'Zoth-like effect, but because pirates are a lot less valuable and easier to get rid of than Death Rattle minions, it does have that extra attack. And of course you can also try to make some kind of combo deck. You do have charge pirates that are available. You have Sky Cavern Crag, you have South Sea Deckhands, a ton of other pirates that can buff each other and do all kinds of things to play some sort of combo style deck, or you can just play it to get tons of extra value and tons of extra minions on the board for a late game finisher to refill the board. Next we have the Ninja's Pride and Joy, the Ninja Veil, another 10 mana 7/7 with Battlecry. Add the Ninjas of the North to your hand. Now the Ninjas of the North are 4 separate minions, all of which cost 5 mana and are 1/1 ninjas. They all have different effects that are all very ninja themed. We have in the top left Plio and Pooley, again 5 mana 1/1 ninja. Battlecry, deal damage equal to the number of friendly ninjas that died this game. So you only really get a payoff with that card if a ton of friendly ninjas died during the course of the game, which means you kind of have to put Ninja Veil in a ninja deck to have any kind of hope of getting value. Next to the top right we have Po and Ping, a 5 mana 1/1 ninja. Battlecry, gain +1/+1 for each friendly ninja that died this game. So this one, unlike the last one, which deals damage fast and is direct, this one is just a really big minion, granted you played a few ninjas during the course of the game that also happened to be dead. In the bottom left we have Pob and Pock. Battlecry, restore health equal to the number of friendly ninjas that died this game. This one is a health restoration one. Again, you have direct damage, you have a big minion, and now you have some health restore. And lastly, we have Pon, the only single ninja of the North, and he doesn't actually interact with ninjas, he simply give a friendly minion stealth, which is permanent stealth and can be neutral, which is why it is very strong, and he is quite difficult to use properly in a ninja deck, but in other decks where you can have animated armor, for example, that can be your win condition. Putting something that is insanely good to have in Stealth Forever in Stealth Forever is a great way to try to win the game, but it is very costly to do so and very difficult, considering you have to play a 10 mana card followed up by a 5 mana card and the minion you need to get into perma stealth. Lastly, the last card in Pirates vs. Ninjas, we have the Great White, the Navy's crowning achievement, a massive 10 mana 7/7 that reads, at the end of your turn, put a random common minion from your deck into the battlefield. Now that may seem kind of underwhelming. Why would you do that? That seems like Yasharj, but really way worse, because Yasharj is a giant 10 mana 10/10 and he gets a minion. This is just 10 mana 7/7. Well, the thing about Yasharj is, you can't guarantee he's going to get a good one. This one you can. You can say, I want to guarantee get a 10 mana 10/10, because that's a common minion. A 7 mana 5/9 is a common minion. An 8 mana 6/10 is a common minion. And then you can have any other rares, epics, or legendary minions in the early game. You don't need to have commons, you can put commons as your finisher and use the Great White to pull them all out. Big piles of stats that your opponent has to deal with, and eventually it's going to become too much for them to deal with if they don't get rid of the Great White itself. And even if they do, you can still play those minions for their normal cost, even though it may not be quite as efficient as what you're looking for, and get a ton of value. And it is a very plain kind of card, which fits in the Navy's sort of theme. And that is the entirety of Custom Hearthstone Pirate vs. Ninjas expansion card showcase. Thank you so much for joining me for these cards and commentary. I hope you enjoyed one or both of those things. Thank you so much for watching.